All right, guys, everybody's go-to in your wheelhouse, the good old Google Slide presentations. Now, sometimes we see people kind of fiddling over here, trying to find that full presentation, struggling with the cursor. You don't need to do that. You can just hit Command, Enter, two keys. Either one of these commands will do, and that will give you full screen with your Google Slide presentation. Now from there, I like this one quite a bit. I call it full screen, not full screen. If you hit Command and then Tab, which is this arrow over here, and then F, that will do this. So it essentially fills your browser tab with the fullness, if you will, of your presentation, but you can kind of see there at the top, I still have access to my other tabs, and I don't have to do some kind of weird escape and open other things up. So it's essentially full screen, but it's not quite full screen. This one's quite useful for Zoom screen sharing as well. All right, so when you are in full screen, it's only one key, just hit L. And it gives you this cool built-in Google Slide presentation laser pointer. Pew pew, which everybody loves. Now I can hit L to get rid of that. If you are using split screen, don't have to, but it's quite nice to split screen. And you got a little more formal presentation. You can just hit S, and that will open up your speaker notes. Get rid of that. Now, each of these slides, my big slide has this kind of long URL, and if we were to follow this down, at some point in time, it'll deviate and let you know that you're physically on slide 7. This is slide 4. Each of these has its own URL. So essentially, you can create, which is like a table of contents, that link to slide 1 over here. I'll put this little button here to go back down to slide 7. And this works quite well when you're in full screen. And you can create what is essentially a functioning kind of website, because these are buttons. And nicely here, table of contents. And I can do that simply by grabbing the URL. So whatever I hyperlink this, I'm going to take that URL from the top, to, it'll take me directly to that slide 7. Command K. Paste, it's going to slide 7. Slide 7. All right. Now that being said, if this is just the presentation that you're going to use to, as a resource to show kids stuff, if they're not going to be typing on this collaboratively, they don't need the whole presentation. They don't need to see any of this. It makes it technically worse because they get distracted by all the other slides. They might not be on your slide. You can go to File, Publish to the Web. At the bottom, this bottom caret is quite useful for us. There's a restrict to your domain, to AISB. There's some things you can do here. It doesn't really matter per se, but what you want is this link in the middle. You can share this link with your kids, and when they open it up, it looks like this. And so they only see this published version. They have no idea about any other notes you might have in the bottom of your slide or anything like that. And they just have the same interface, and it does potentially work quite a lot like a website. So publish those things. They don't need the back end. Now, long story short, let's back this one up because I've already done it. Let's say you have an image that you borrowed from the internet. I looked at my watermelon search because I'm looking for a photo of Kavun. I'm going to go to Tools, also pretty good with that. I'm going to go Creative Commons Licenses, right? Because, we're that kind of school. I'm going to go with this one, which I had before. And because it's super legal for me to use, copy image. Now, let's just say my background is not white. Some kind of melon green. And now I don't like this white business. What I can do is, in this program here called Preview, which is our default for photos and PDFs, you can already see I have this one on here. This, I can just go Command N, and anytime I have something copied to my clipboard and hit Command N in Preview, it will paste whatever that is. Now this is the fun and relatively simple part. Click on this little Markup Toolbar business. We want this wand. You click anywhere in the bit you want to go away. This generally works well with solid colors. If there's a whole bunch of stuff in the background and it bleeds in and there's some comparable colors, it won't work so well. But this is a simple way just to cut out the background. So I literally have essentially a PNG. If I copy what's left, I can do Command A, Command C, or I can grab this little thing here and tell it to copy with a Command C all of that. And I don't like this contrasting white background. I can just paste this newly created PNG. I can put that in all sorts of places. And it doesn't contrast, it doesn't bleed, if you will, on top of other text. It's nice and tight because it's only the image itself. Now, videos. Also a nice little formatting bit with this. Some of you see me talk about this quite a bit, but you know, with your insert video, you can grab stuff from Drive, do a .wbem, which will be all our Screencastify videos. It's pretty easy to find it that way. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to search by URL. Let's just do this, dogs 2020. Top crazy funny dogs. Just what we need for academic purposes. Here it comes. You dogs are not funny. This dog is funny. Now, if this doesn't pop up over here, because it looks like this, click on this playback video. Very important. When you're in your presentation mode, you know, you don't want to be having to click it. It's not hard. But we don't want to mess with any of that. Click on this, and I will enjoy an automatic play. Command Enter. This will play without me touching anything. So if I'm in this slide and I go to my next slide, dog start. I don't need it to start automatically. Format. I'll choose this click. Now this click isn't the video. That would be menu. I can click on Vampy over here. Got my Bossa Nova dog there. And what I like, because this is what, probably 4 hours of cute dogs, I only need the cutest dog from 245 to 249. Well, that's not quite right. 249. Let's see what that does. And now, when I click anywhere over here, I do Command Enter, full screen, click on Vampy's cute face, and this will play. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 4.5 seconds of the cutest dog things ever. So this is very useful for your kids too, because you know they share resources, they share things, and they're having to drag stuff, and it's not quite, go back, go forward. We can avoid all of that with this simple video playback. So if you have any questions about any of this, you want to book some time with any one of us and the tech team, we have other nice tips and tricks for Google Slides. We would be more than happy to help.